Hello, I'm Volkrov, and today I'm going to be showing you pivot points. Pivot points can help your animations look better, expand your knowledge of circuits that involve objects, and can really advance the way you build. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. First, you'll want to turn on the setting that shows pivot points. This lets you see where the pivot point is on your object so you actually know what you're working with. To do this, take out your maker pen and open the tab General Settings and turn on Show Pivot. Once that's on, anytime you select an object, its pivot point will appear. And when you drop your maker pen, it still stays visible until you re-pick it up again. This feature allows creators to see what's going on in their creation without having to hold their maker pen. Pivot points play a more crucial role in circuits, more than you might think. When you use chips like a get position to find an object's coordinates, or a get forward vector and a get rotation that will put two different types of rotations, vector 3 and quaternions, the information is taken from the pivot. Because of this, having your pivot point in the right spot is very important. Otherwise, when you use a get position chip on an object, it might tell you the object is somewhere it's not supposed to be. To set the position of a pivot point on any object, edit into the object, select a shape, open Options, and then from there, click Center Pivot on Selection. The pivot point will be placed at the center of your green selection box. If you don't see that green outline of a box, open your general settings and turn on Show Selection Bounds. So another example I'm going to show here, I have two boxes. I'm going to select both and center pivot on selection. As you can see, the pivot point will be placed in the center of what you have selected. If you want to place the pivot point in a very specific spot, edit inside your object and create a small cube. Put the cube at the position you want your pivot point to be. Just like before, center your pivot on that cube. Once you have done that, you can delete the cube. Then you are left with the pivot point. If the rotation of the pivot point didn't come out how you wanted it, use the rotate tool, open the rotate tool settings, and make sure rotate around pivot is on and rotate in place is off. Doing this, when you select an object, it'll rotate only around the pivot point. So for this example, I have a box and I want this pivot point to be flipped upside down. To do this, all I'm gonna do is, not being in edit mode, I'm just gonna rotate this box upside down. Okay, now that my pivot point is flipped how I want it, I need to actually flip the box back to the position where it was. To do this, now I'm gonna edit into the box, select everything, and rotate it back. As you can see, the pivot point is facing a new direction from what it was before. Using that rotate around pivot setting, you can make movement look better and more natural when animating stuff like joints or gears. And when building, this technique really comes in handy. For example, a clock, where the hands of the clock rotate around the center point. Alright, that's gonna wrap it up for this tutorial. I hope you guys use what you've learned in this video today. As always, I'm Volkrov, and thanks for watching.